So the world is ours to explore. Man, after all the drama of the tutorial, those uber powerful rats were even stronger than the goblins. I think I'm going to go chill for a minute in the Imperial City. Go check out the market. This is kind of how I like to get started. I don't know that I've ever started this game the same way twice, but there's certain things I like to do early. We'll definitely take a look at trying to at least get the rumors for the Thieves Guild. I like to get in there early because being able to pawn off stolen stuff is, oh man, it's almost mandatory for a little extra gold early on, which gold is an actual issue. One thing I love about this game is that money matters, at least early on. Like any other RPG, after a while, once you learn to either craft or find your own stuff, especially when you learn where to go in the world to get good stuff, well, then the economy becomes less relevant, I guess. Although buying houses and buying stuff for your house is an issue pretty late in the game, too. The houses are expensive enough to be realistic, and just another thing that I like about the game. Just another thing that works, you know? And here we go, and the music... It just... I swear, I'm here in the Imperial City markets, and the music is still taking me back. It's crazy.
Is there a problem? What are you looking for? There are no guild halls in the city, but the Arcane University is on an island outside the walls, south of the Arboretum. If you've got to travel, by the 9 Divines, stay on the roads. The wilderness just isn't safe anymore. We've had sightings, you see. The Daedra. If you've got to...
Okay, I'm sorry. I have this personal thing for the Imperial Guards. I think they're really cool. I don't know. They're just... they're part of the whole character of Oblivion. Imperial Guards, especially when you do something bad, they come up, stop criminal scum. It's just awesome. I mean, it's hard to really take it seriously. Oh man, this is just a work of art. Maybe you're just going to hear me do a lot of this all the way through because, in part, even knowing where stuff is and already kind of knowing what to do in a lot of these things, having done some of these quests, maybe hundreds of times, I don't know, couldn't tell you. It's not really old, you know? So nothing maybe overly exciting here, but one thing I like to do is just, well, just this.
Hello. Also try my friend, Ajir Giorik, the main ingredient here in the district. We're all talking about the Emperor's murder. We have no Emperor and no heir. That's never happened before. I suppose we should all be worried. Good day.
Yeah, this helps me, if nothing else, just get into the game. Stopping in the Imperial City, stopping in all the shops, looking through all this stuff for repair hammers. That's mainly what I'm looking for. You might get lucky and even get a few lockpicks and a couple pieces of gold, but repair hammers are the key. Not having a whole lot of gold right now, and if I want to do any kind of training at any point, repair hammers become really expensive. I don't know, they may only be worth 10, but oh geez, the merchants, they start selling them right around 20 gold or so. Now you can haggle with them a little bit. That's one thing I like, is that you can try to talk them down somewhat. Like, hey man, I'm going to be in here every day buying stuff. You know, all this overcharging. Yeah, let's take a little off. That is, I guess, the one thing where personality comes in handy. The higher your personality, the more you can haggle for. I guess if you had a max personality score, you could essentially get a merchant to sell everything at cost, or even maybe less or something. So, something to be said for that. But I've never worried much about it. I don't mind paying the prices, honestly. There are a few gold pieces. A couple hammers, too. Now, I'm not going to repair my stuff right now because I know as low as my armor skill is, which is something of a handicap early on, I like to get my armor to 50. It's one of those things where it's not wise to boost it early, but I kind of regret that later in that it seems to take forever before I can start repairing my own magical stuff. Like a simple piece of armor or something with an enchantment on it, if you want it fixed, you're going to have to go find somebody to repair it for you until you can get your armor to 50, and that's going to be a while. We're talking about probably level 15 or so, or something. Yeah. Although I am working on getting my endurance up probably first before I do anything else. That'll be the first stat to 100, ideally. I'm going to want to raise that by 5 every level if possible, and do a little training if necessary. I won't drag you guys through that. Maybe I was thinking some of the just random, maybe exploring around, like if I'm going to run down to the riverside to go punch mud crabs or let them hit me type of thing to exercise or train in a certain skill, I won't drag you guys along for that. It's funny sometimes, but there may be a bit of that, especially at higher levels. You might have to stand there for an hour or so. I don't mind doing it. I don't mind being out in the environment and listening to the music, even if I've got a crab squeaking and hissing and punching me. I mean, it's kind of funny, but it's almost relaxing. I mean, seriously. So it's not a big deal for me. I can do that for hours and not get bored. If you think that's strange, well, still, it is what it is. But maybe I won't drag you guys through all that. So what I was thinking of, oh my gosh, this is going to be like a 300 or 400 hour playthrough. Well, it might, but not necessarily for you guys. Also, a lot of this training that I do is really early game. The level cap, I believe, is 50 in Oblivion. I love that there is a level cap and that there is no getting uber powerful in every single type of thing per se. I mean, you do, but it feels more natural in this game than it did in Skyrim, where you could level indefinitely and literally max out every single skill and become this uber master of all trades. Not a jack of all trades, but a master of all trades. And I'm not a fan of that in games. In this one, sure, you could essentially, once you got all your skills up, do whatever. But I don't know. It just seemed like you were just, an adventurer. Period. It just didn't seem the same. I don't know. I think the game kind of balances itself with you regardless of where you're at or what you're doing. You can pick a particular thing to do, but nothing's necessarily a whole lot more powerful than anything else. You can be as effective melee-wise as you could magic-wise. It's really well balanced. Or you could be as effective sneaky-wise or being an archer or whatever. Depending on how you enchant your stuff and how you work your stuff, everything has its advantages. And I've found that I really tend to just do one thing, I'll kind of set myself on a play style. For the most part, I've always kind of been daggers or short swords and bows, and just been kind of sneaky assassin type and play that whole role going on through, and even sticking to lighter armors. I really like the set you get with the Dark Brotherhood. I'm a huge fan of the way that looks. It's almost like a shiny, almost metallic black leather. It's a really cool set. In this case, we'll go heavy armor and big two-handed weapon. I don't know exactly which armor set I'm going to stick with. Now, the Daedric looks really cool in this. There is that, but I haven't really gone through every single individual set. I know the Ebony looks good, too. It looks really good on this one particular person that you can fight for the, the Umbra Sword, I believe. May just stick with a set like that. Really, the armor type later in the game is kind of irrelevant. You can essentially almost go around butt naked if you can, or just wearing simple clothes if you can get your armor rating high enough. If it were possible, you could essentially have the same armor naked as you could with a full set. No, not necessarily realistic, but then that comes down to usually magic enchantments and stuff like that anyway. So that's fine. Doesn't bother me. that you can be just as skilled avoiding damage in a leather set as you could a, steel plate or Daedric or something. That's fine. That could make sense. It's not too hard of a mental workaround. Now, I did remember make basically all my personality skills, major skills. The one skill that I essentially have to use at some point is Mercantile, because I'm going to be buying and selling. I mean, I don't essentially have to buy and sell. I guess I could get around that, but I'm going to. I'm going to make money and stuff, and I'm going to buy stuff that I want at times. So that is the one skill I have, but it raises very slowly, and there's a way to control that. Is Mercantile works off transactions, number of transactions, not amount bought or sold. So you get the exact same credit for selling an item worth 1,000 gold as you would an item worth 1 gold, like say iron arrows. So if you want to raise your Mercantile, you can take a stack of 200 arrows and sell them one at a time. And if you didn't want to raise your Mercantile, you'd sell that stack of 200 arrows all at once and get almost no credit for it. And once you get much, much higher in Mercantile, it takes a lot of transactions to raise up one level. So it's very controllable. And it may even get to the point where you might buy arrows at, say, 2 gold apiece, and then sell them back at 1 gold apiece. Buy 200 arrows for 200, sell them back for 100, essentially, one at a time, just to raise Mercantile, but at very little cost. It's just a little trick in training. But once again, that never takes me out. And see, I've only actually raised my major skills here now, what looks like about 6 times. And we can accredit illusion to that. Looks like I've done hand-to-hand once, light armor once, and illusion 4 times. So I'll raise this maybe 2 more times, and then we'll go raise our Mercantile a couple times selling iron arrows. You notice I was collecting every iron arrow I could find in the tutorial and saving them for this. And then once we actually level, we'll go sleep. Now, I could go down to the sewer. There's a free place to sleep, but my first night I like to spend in a hotel because I think I've earned it. Coming out of jail, I mean, who wants to go just sleep in the sewer after barely escaping with your life from prison, It's time to go live it up. So I'll go get a suite in the local inn type of thing. Train a few more times. There's also spells you can create later once you're in the Mages Guild that allow you to summon something for maybe even just a second. Summon something for 1 second, or cast a certain spell for 1 second of each particular magic school to train your magic when you're ready. Restoration and destruction, destruction, I believe you have to be hitting an enemy target to raise that. But that'll go up because I'll be using that. I'll be using that as to compensate for my lack of weapon damage early on, especially.
Feel free to browse, friend. It's nice to see a new shopper. I was afraid I lost any hope of new business ever since Thorinir opened up. Blasted thief. I hope they string him up when they catch him. He's a slippery one, though. The beggars are his eyes and ears. Everyone comes to the big city to buy and sell. Why not? More stores, better selection, better prices. I know that Dovanoran is getting up there in years, but he still knows a bit about alteration. I think you might be just the kind of person we're looking for. Perhaps you can assist us with a problem we're having here in the Market District. I'm the chairperson for the Society of Concerned Merchants. We formed this group a while back to keep a nice, fair economic balance in town. Not every store is a member, but we're slowly trying to convince them to join. Everything was fine until Thorinir opened his shop nearby. Selling all sorts of merchandise, he undercuts prices like you wouldn't believe. He doesn't always sell what we sell, but it is still a problem. People who buy tend to want to spend their money there. That leaves none for us. It's getting so bad a few of us may have to close up shop. He outright refuses to join the society or even discuss the matter. We are convinced he's up to no good. What we need is for you to case his establishment and figure out where he gets his inventory. Find some proof of his wrongdoing and let us know. We cannot do it ourselves, as he recognizes all of us. The job pays a fair bounty in gold when he is brought to justice. His inventory must be stolen. It has to be. He prices less than it costs to make some of those things. Go see for yourself.
I might actually do that. It sounds good to me. No offense or anything,
Have a
but...
look around. You won't find better prices in all Tamriel.
Akavari Warblade. I wonder if that's something to consider using at some point. I don't know if I'll have the extra gold for that, but hey, I still haven't put my helmet on. Damn it. Maybe I'll run without a helmet. Yeah, maybe not.
A good price for a good customer.
Okay, so let's sell some items that are actually worth something. Just to go ahead and give this a test.
Come again.
And see how much progress we get.
We had no other place to turn.
We've probably sold 100 or something gold worth of stuff, and Mercantile has barely moved. So we've made, what, 3, 4, 5 transactions, whatever. Now let's sell a few arrows.
Any news about that certain task we discussed?
Not yet, lady. I haven't even left the store.
May I interest you in some of my fine wares?
There we go. We'll sell a few of these. About the same number of transactions or so.
That's a good... You drive... You've made a... Thank you. Come again.
All right, so that's what, about 10, 12 gold
Thanks again.
worth of arrows. Now see how much it's moved. Right, so it's per transaction. It's not amount. And that comes in really handy. So that's a really good way to manage leveling. So notice the skills that I actually use are all minor skills. Okay, so anyway, I sold a few more arrows and finished leveling there.
Thank you for your business.
Got my last couple points in
Thanks again for your
Mercantile.
help.
Got our little
No other place to turn.
sleep/level up symbol down there. Next to our compass. Man, this is just so familiar. I almost got a tear in my eye. I love this game, man. I don't even mind being mushy about it either. This is, it's awesome. All right, let's get a real room for the night.
Go ahead, please. Blasted thief. I hope they string him up when they catch him. He's a slippery one, though. The beggars are his eyes and ears.
Oh, it's good to know.
He's that Imperial Watch captain that's always chasing after the Grey Fox and the Thieves Guild. Chasing after shadows, if you ask me. The Thieves Guild probably doesn't exist, and it's a sure bet the Grey Fox doesn't either.
Ah, this guy knows more than what he's
Something about
saying.
the assassination, of course. Here, take my copy of the new Black Horse Courier. Go ahead, keep it. Irene Metric moves with such grace. I wonder what it is she does.
Another thing I love about this game, and
I do have a
Skyrim
bed
does...
available for 20 gold a night. Would you like to rent it? Very good. It's up the stairs there, first door on your left. Sleep well.
And Skyrim does this, in my opinion, not quite as well. Say what you will about improved combat things in Skyrim. I don't know. Okay, fine. The dual wielding part I'm a big fan of, so I'll admit that. But outside of that, the way you level here, it's a more pure form of whatever you do brings experience. In other words, as you use something, as you train in it, you get better at it. Now, they went a little over the top maybe in Oblivion with, athletics and speed and stuff where you can eventually jump so high that you can hurt yourself. I think, honestly, if they were to ever change anything in the mechanics in Oblivion, aside from maybe adding dual wielding, which would be cool, if they ever came back to remaster this game, that's one thing they can add. That's fine. But, and go ahead and smooth out some of the rendering and stuff like that, but please don't change too many of the animations or graphics and stuff, because the magic is done really, really well in Oblivion. Better than Skyrim. A lot better, in my opinion. It's pixelated and aliased. It seems smoother, and, the fire and the magic effects seem to glow more. They have more of a natural look in Oblivion, in my opinion. But either way, one thing you could go back and do is leave the speed bonuses and the athletics bonuses as far as jumping and stuff, but just tone down the bonuses. Like the max speed you have at, say, speed of 100, make the max speed the what you would normally have here at, say, a speed of like 50 or 60, where when you become as fast as you can, so a small speed boost is a huge bonus in the game, whereas a huge speed boost just seems normal and seems almost damn near instantaneous. If you invest anything into speed in the game, you're just zipping all over the field and it's almost unnatural. Just tone the bonus down and tone the athletics down. If you want to jump a little bit higher, make it require all of your points in athletics to jump a little higher, and you can take away a lot of the falling damage. If somebody knows how to stop, drop, and roll type of thing, then okay, that would make sense. But as far as jumping literally 70 feet in the air, damn near standing still, okay, that's maybe a little much. You could take something off of that, but leave the same mechanics and dynamics in there. Leave all that, most definitely. All right, so now that I've leveled, and notice I was able to put 5 points in those specific attributes, and we're going to try to do that again. So I'll work on endurance right here. And notice armor is going to go up at least 2 or 3 times here. And this is 3 points towards endurance already. I'm going to need a total of 10 points towards endurance to raise it by 5. So there, 3 points in armor. Now I just need to get a total of 7 points between armor, block, and heavy armor. And there you go. And then next time I level, as long as I get those 10 points into endurance before I level, then when I actually do level, I can raise it by 5. Also got to consider maybe at some point dropping a few points into speed. I don't want to sacrifice any points towards agility, endurance, and strength right now. And willpower too. Even though my willpower starts at 50, I still have to raise that 10 times. I got to raise it by 5 10 times to get it to 100. Willpower, intelligence, endurance, strength, and agility are going to need to get to 100. I'm not concerned with personality. I'm not concerned with luck. So those are I'm not worried about at all. I wonder if Edgar has something that I can summon right now. Even though the Breton starts with a skill in Conjuration, and I had strongly considered getting Conjuration as a major skill. And you started at 25, which means you can summon just a minor skeleton at the very beginning. I was hesitant to do that. But problem is, it's hard to train Conjuration if you can't conjure anything.
You don't want the very best. You want cheap. And I got cheap.
That's right, Edgar. I don't want the best, I want cheap.
The Cyberceptium Hotel is a nice place. It's not cheap, though.
Oh, then you don't go there, I'm sure.
You want to buy or sell, the city is great. You want free? Go down the holes, kill some monsters, sell your loot back in the city.
That's actually good advice.
Only quality goods for sale here. What can I interest you in?
Let's see. I can haggle with this guy. There's some things to have here. Perhaps bound dagger or bound sword is something to consider later on too. There is that. It's considered destruction, not conjuration, though. Oh well. So there's that, but see, you need a conjuration skill of 25. So that doesn't do any good right now. It is good to start getting some of the base things. In order to enchant your weapons or to create your own spells, you have to know something about that particular spell. Like, you don't have to be able to summon an ice storm, but you got to at least be able to summon a snowball to use ice enchantments, for example. So, might be a good idea to have a few of these things. Water breathing's good. Just gonna have them. Although, you know what?
Your friends about me.
I actually really don't need water breathing. There's a helmet that we can go grab that give me a night eye and a water breathing enchantment. It's a glass helmet too, and we can go get it right now if we want to. In fact, we will. Well, not right now, but we'll get it soon. I'll show you where it's at. It's a little hidden place. Once you know where it's at, it's basically impossible to forget. Well, it's not hard to forget exactly where it's at. It's literally buried underwater. You got to go find it, and the ability to breathe underwater while you're looking for it comes in handy in a major way. So you will definitely head out there and do that. Let me gather some stuff. I'm going to do some alchemy at some point. I've got a little carry weight. That's an intelligence thing too. Maybe not this level, but next level, if we want to go ahead and raise our intelligence by 5, I guess. We could do that. See, early on, basically endurance, if you want to get your endurance or strength up, you're going to have to go do some fighting. You're going to have to go do some exploring and doing stuff. And so, get that out of the way early. Get endurance up early and often, so that as you progress through the rest of the game, your hit points are much higher. On this difficulty, it's pretty much mandatory. I mean, it's going to be for me. That's something I've decided on, so that's how we're going to roll. We're going to definitely be pushing for endurance. So this is kind of how I like to get started. I am going to take a look down in the sewers, actually, real quick. We're going to go find a bedroll that we can use. I may not want to spend 20 gold at the inn every time we level, for example. I mean, it was nice to have one night there to celebrate our release from prison, our new lease on life, this new world we have to explore with new eyes, being the possible only salvation for mankind and all that, epic RPG stuff, most definitely. Anyway, we'll jump down here and on the next one, go find a bedroll, and then we'll go off to maybe go investigate the Thieves Guild, something like that. Go talk to the people at Mages College at some point too. Well, thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe, you can click that button up top. If you want to catch the this playthrough, you can click that image in the middle. It should send you straight there, or maybe somewhere else. You never know. Click it and get surprised. Anyway, y'all take care, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.